Hello everyone, Dibz here, and welcome to week 2 of Hero Banalysis, where we take a look at the hero bans this week to figure out which heroes and comps benefit and who hurt the most as a result of these bans. This week we have Reinhardt, Reaper, Ana, and Moira out of the hero pool, which is super weird because it's not 2 DPS this week, but rather 2 healers that are banned. Now this is weird because there are only 7 healers out there, and taking out 2 of the biggest main healers is definitely not something you'd expect from Blizzard. They hinted at keeping it at a constant ban of 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 1 support, which makes sense since there are 20 DPS heroes, so this 2 support ban week is going to be throwing us for a loop. Starting with the general comps as a result of the tank ban, Reinhardt, this also means that Zarya isn't going to be seeing much love, as they both pretty much go hand in hand. This leaves Dive, Double Shield, and Orisa Hog tank lineups left. With last week's bans on Orisa and Baptiste, Dive was pretty commonly seen in most games. Now with these heroes back, it doesn't necessarily mean that Dive is going to be seen less, but these heroes do somewhat make it harder for Dive to actually be as good as it can be. Also, with Ana out of the picture, nano blades aren't going to be a thing, and so Dive definitely needs more coordinated plays to actually be beneficial instead of relying heavily on a powerful ult combination to wipe the enemy team. But one thing is for sure, Roadhog is also going to be back stronger than ever. Why? Well, 1, there aren't any anti-nades against Roadhog from Ana, so he'll always be available to self-heal, and 2, Reaper is also out of the pool, which you know is a tank killer. As a result, Dive is going to be effective, especially now that Reaper is out this week too, but we're also going to be seeing more Hog, which means that these are the matchups that are going to be popular in general. Orisa Hog, Dive, and Orisa Sigma Bastion. To dive a little deeper into these comps, with Orisa Hog, we'll most likely see McCree and or Mei, as both are pretty safe picks against any comps out there. This is especially true because Zarya is not going to be played as often. As a result of Mei coming back though, McCree is going to be seen a bit more as he's one of the best heroes to take her out as well. Unfortunately, it really looks like it's going to be a lot of McCree Mei because Orisa Hog pulls benefit greatly as both McCree and Mei can easily stun and split the target after Hog pulls them in. This was pretty much what was considered the strongest comp before hero pulls came out. But with Reaper out of the picture, the risk of running Dive against this kind of comp diminishes slightly, and we'll see a bit more of it than we have before hero bans were introduced. All of the other non-Dive DPS, Ashe, Bastion, Hanzo, Junkrat, Soldier, Symmetra, and Torb are definitely still viable with Orisa Hog, but the crowd control will not be there, and Orisa Hog is really all about that. As to the support for Orisa Hog, or any non-dive comp for that matter, we're most likely going to see Baptiste Mercy, as Mercy benefits greatly from Bap's Lamp when going for risky reses, and they both have more average healing per second versus Lucio and Zen. Lucio was great with Rein as he was able to be boosted in and out, but with him out of the picture, we're probably not going to see much Lucio with Orisa Hog Sigma comps, but we'll see him mostly with Dive. Now with Dive, it's going to be the same kind of dive as last week, with a bit less of Genji now that Ana's out of the picture. Winston D.Va is going to be a bit more useful than Ball D.Va though, as Hog is now a bit more effective with Orisa back in the game, meaning Hog can get free hooks off of the entire team if the dive team runs Ball D.Va. Nanoblade of course is one of Dive's biggest benefits, but without it, we'll probably see a bit of Tracer Doomfist, Tracer Sombra, or even Tracer Pharmacy, all of which have their own benefits. If the enemy team is running a standard comp with Bap, we'll most likely be seeing a dive comp with Sombra to mitigate the lamp. With Zen, yes, Sombra is also good against him, but Doomfist players will also have a field day even more so. Pharmacy in general is a pretty safe pick if the enemy team isn't running a Widow, and the enemy team also probably won't be running a Zen unless they're running Dive. Overall, with Dive, it's going to be pretty much unchanged besides Genji being a bit worse without Ana on the field. Now on to Double Shield and Bastion. Now this is a comp that's pretty difficult to run up against because, especially below Platinum, it takes a bit of coordination to break this comp. With Bap back in the game, if the enemy team does run Dive, the Tracer or somebody else will have to force the lamp out before diving in, or else the lamp is just going to come out and protect the Bastion long enough. And this is going to make D.Va's defense matrix run out, and by the time that happens, the dive team is going to get melted. This is why Double Shield Bastion is pretty good against dive, unless there is of course a lot of coordination on the dive team. Besides dive, Orisa Hog along with any shield break heroes will do pretty well against the double shield Bastion as long as they play positions well enough. All you really have to do on the offensive is to wean down the double shield just enough for Orisa Hog to get a pull combo and eventually push the fight in your favor. Or you make the Bastion comp reposition, in which makes them vulnerable to picks as well, since the Bastion wouldn't be focused on shooting during that time. After that, it's just about taking advantage of the openings and pushing at the right time. Yes, Bastion does do more damage to shields, but at mid to far range, it's going to be hard for him to get a pick, at least harder than the Orisa Hog, since they have the hooking ability. So with all of this analysis in regards to these three main comps, Orisa Hog, Dive, and Double Shield Bastion, they all seem pretty balanced and can be pretty effective against each other depending on how you play it out, which is honestly nice. Of course, at the ranks below Platinum though, you won't always see coordinated fights, so Double Shield Bastion is probably going to be very popular as there are less coordinated dives and you'll probably see a bit more Orisa Hog than usual. At ranks above Diamond, we'll probably see more of a balance of these three comps. What about your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know what your predictions are and what you've experienced as well. It's always interesting to see how things really turn out in regards to what we actually predict because you never really know and sometimes we can be pretty off. But anyway, thanks for watching guys and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.